Pretty much went to work as normal, which normal people do, and go to work. And I work the front desk. I supervise the front desk. I actually received a call, a guest that asked for a late checkout. I received a call from them, and they stated that their hot water was not working. So they weren't just asking, saying, like, my hot water's not working. They were screaming. I don't want to say the type of language that they were screaming, but he was upset. He was very, very upset about the hot water was not working. I said, excuse me, sir, but you don't have to speak to me in that type of tone of voice or say that language. So he called back and said, I'm going to come down to the front desk. I'm coming, he says, in a threatening voice. And I hung up the phone. And obviously that made him very angry. So I in turn called my general manager and had him go check what was the problem. And he found out what the problem was, and it was fixed. So it was a 2-second fix. So I told him that he was irate and very belligerent, and he was coming to us, and he threatened to come to the front desk in a threatening voice. Actually, he said he was coming to kick my bleep bleep, or have his girlfriend. He was going to have his girlfriend kick my bleep bleep, is what he said. And so my general manager met him in the hallway before even getting around to the front desk. So my general manager said, Crystal, I got this, told me, and I turned around, went back towards my desk. He yelled at me that she was coming to my desk to get me. Another threat was thrown to me. And I turned around and said, then she'll learn today. Because I can just call the police. We don't have to, it's private property. So his anger totally escalated. I was called racial names, and he ran down the ramp, pushed my GM, ran down the ramp, and jumped up in the air to swing to hit me. He jumped up to hit me, and me in my defense, right in my face, I started swinging back. She in turn came, and so I was swinging in between the two of them. I'm smaller than them, and they were punching, and it was a punching match, and I was so fearful. I was doing for my life. I was placed into the employee waiting room and put in the employee room, but my face was swelling up. I had no ice. They were trying to diffuse him. Where after the fight, I have no idea. I went into the employee room. The ice machine is located right in front of the employee. So I got the little bag, and I was getting the ice in the bag. Got the ice in the bag, and him and her came up right to me. So they should have been on the opposite side of the whole hotel, but they were on our side. They were near the front desk still. And so he saw me. She came up to me and she said, "You scratched my man's neck." And she came up to me, and she came up and got in my 6 feet, and I went to fighting again. My coworker was right next to me, trying to push me back. He came around both girls and punched me and got me in the eye again. But this time he grabbed my clothes and pushed him out of the way, and he threw me, and she threw me too. Both of them, this time they didn't want a fist fight. They actually threw me, and I went against the wall. So that's how I hurt my wrist and everything, because the way. So while I was on the ground, he was kicking me. He was kicking me in the back. This is the last thing that I saw, which has traumatized me every second. I have not slept well. I haven't slept. I slept in pain. This makes me cry because he went to stomp my face.
All new for you right now at 11. The victim of a racist attack in Mystic says she wants justice. A black woman says she was attacked while working at a Quality Inn last Friday, and no one has been arrested or charged.
I haven't slept, but it's hard to sleep. I keep seeing the event.
The nightmare started for 59-year-old Crystal Boyd at the Quality Inn on Route 27, where she works at the front desk. A man staying at the hotel called to complain about his hot water not working, and Boyd says he got irate on the phone. Boyd says she and her 2 co-workers quickly resolved the issue, but the man, who was white, came down to the front desk and started attacking her in front of several people. She says no one jumped in to help.
A monkey, and you don't belong here. and kicking me.
But that wasn't the end of the attack. Boyd says while recovering in a back room, a second attack happened when she tried to venture into the hall to find her belongings. She says she was punched, kicked, and stomped by the man and his girlfriend. While this was happening, Boyd says they were hurling racial slurs.
You hate my skin so bad that you physically touched me.
The attack's so brutal, Boyd says she's working with a knee specialist, an eye specialist, and a therapist for PTSD. Boyd and her lawyer, John Shafachi, say the Stonington Police Department's response was disappointing. Captain Todd Olson says the suspects were taken to a separate hospital that night, treated, and released. He says they returned back to the hotel and drove back home to New York. Boyd and Shafachi want to know why the couple wasn't arrested after police viewed the surveillance footage that night.
And we should be able to rely on the police to protect us. And when something like that happens, they need to do their jobs.
Captain Olson tells Eyewitness News they're composing an arrest warrant tonight for the man and says there will be some sort of assault charge. He says they're also considering a warrant for the woman as well. Boyd says she's angry that her attackers aren't behind bars yet while she suffers.
This has totally wiped out all the things that I was focusing on in my life. I can't focus on any of the things that I was thinking about last Monday.
But moving forward, she says she plans on working with groups like Black Lives Matter to address racism.
I feel like it's enough. It's enough. So Connecticut needs to stand up. Ned Lamont, we need you to let them know when they come in Connecticut, racism will not be tolerated in Connecticut.
And Stonington police say they're working with the state's attorney's office to file the proper charges. Boyd and her lawyers say they want to see a bias crime charge added to that list. Reporting in studio tonight, Sharon Johnson, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Crystal Carwell. What's her name? Hot water. This was all about hot water. And it was a 2-second fix. Because the general manager, if you just heard her, said they fixed it in 2 minutes. They fixed it in 2 seconds, 2 minutes, whatever. You know it's a minor fix. But that doesn't excuse what happened. Your woman, not just your woman going down on some racist ass shit. You as a man feel big and proud that you put your hands on a woman like that? You feel big and bold and strong that you and your woman jumped a 59-year-old black woman who just doing her job? You feel big and bold that you want to call her a racist ass slur by calling her a monkey? Really? Now these two people, they're wanted for arrest right now. Arrest for assault. The cops actually went to the hospital to try to arrest them, but they couldn't even get in the hospital because of COVID-19. Now they're on the run. It's a warrant out for both of their arrests.
Oh shit.
We know exactly their names. There's a warrant out for their arrest right now. For hot water. Yeah. And I feel special and equal to everybody in this fucking country. I get beaten over fucking hot water. It's fucking 2020. And we are still dealing with shit that sound like this happened in 1930. Shadow watch. I'm always watching.